Hi guys, as I said in our channel update video, I said that we was going to start reviewing some of the new TV programs that were coming out, because obviously our channel is mainly about gaming, but we wanted to cover things like TV and movies. And as I also said on the channel update, there hasn't been much out, which is why our channel's been predominantly gaming. But obviously, anyone who's into Star Trek Discovery will know that the new episode started on Friday. So I said that we'd cover it. So that's what we're doing today. Um, so, first thing I'll say, I was actually quite impressed with the new episode, if I'm honest. As a lot of you guys will probably know, I did a video talking about how Discovery, how the first two series, in my opinion, weren't very good. And I also felt they were doing damage to some of the Star Trek that had come before it. So, this one, at the end of that series, it seemed like they were trying to fix some of the problems. I mean, a lot of people said right from the get-go with the first series, that it didn't make any sense because we'd never heard of Discovery in the originals or any of the other series after that. So how could you have this high-tech ship that nobody knew about? Which kind of made sense, and they tried to explain that in the first couple of series, saying that it was like a black bag project sort of thing, nobody knew about it. So they ended up at the end of series 2 trying to fix it by sending them off into the future. Of course, the storyline is that they went into the future to stop Control. And basically the way it worked, that Michael Berman was going through the portal and then the Discovery would follow. Because obviously if you've watched series 2, you'll know that Michael had like a time suit. That series was pretty much all around that. So, we're going to get into spoilers now. So there's your warning. So in this episode, it starts off that you've got two ships fighting each other, and at some point during the sort of chase or mini battle, whatever you want to call it, Michael comes through the portal, crashes into one of the ships, and they both end up crashing on a planet. Somewhere in between, there's a weird part where you're seeing a guy get out of a bed, and the bed's sort of made almost like a holodeck, and it's like sort of disappearing into the floor, and he's brushing his teeth. You get an explanation as to what that is later in the episode, but in a nutshell, a lot of the episode is around Michael and this person that she crashed into, who's called Book or Booker, and he basically explains to her that he's a courier, and she finds out that she's in the future, a long way in the future, and the Federation is gone. Something to do with I think it's dilithium, and he mentions something about what is it he calls it now? The burn, I think. You find out that the Federation crumbled because I think all the dilithium just went unstable, which of course is what powers their ships. So the Federation disappeared because they couldn't get around. And basically this episode, not a massive amount happens in it. It's just a lot of laying the groundwork of what's going to come in this series, I think. Obviously, she tries contacting Discovery throughout the episode, and they're nowhere to be seen. At one point, she ends up going to like an outpost with Book, and it's run by the Orions and the Andorians, and he kind of sets her up, and he sells some of what he calls vintage items, which is a phaser, tricorder, all that sort of stuff, to try and get dilithium. And eventually they end up having to fight for their lives to get out, and you find out that the reason that Booker's done this is because he's trying to save a species of some sort of like space slug caterpillar, whatever it is, And he needs the dilithium to get it back to his planet, or to a planet, so that it's safe. And they, like I say, they end up working together. And eventually he takes her to some sort of outpost. And you find out that the guy at the beginning of the episode, the one that was getting out of bed, that was dissolving into the floor and brushing his teeth and all that, you find out that his ancestors before him were Federation. And he took over the mantle in this outpost, and that he hadn't seen anyone from the Federation for years, 40 years I think he says. And he also mentions that he never got sworn in, so he's not officially Starfleet. So Michael sort of swears him in, and then she says to him, right, we're going to look and see who else is out there. Of course, before that bit, they're talking about Discovery, and he's explaining to her, or they're both sort of figuring it out together, that Discovery could turn up at any time, but it could be anything up to like 1,000 years from now, because of some sort of temporal mechanics. So you're left in that episode with the thought that, okay, Discovery might not show up in this series. I imagine it will do, but you don't know when. And that they're also going to try and like reform the Federation and look for who's left. So, like I say, there's not a massive amount in this episode. A lot of it's just laying the groundwork for the series. There was a bit of action when they're running away from the Orions and the Andorians. There's a battle going on, and obviously this being in the future, the tech's very different. I mean, they've got like a wearable transport, and they can push it and just jump sort of thing, you know, every 30 seconds, because it takes 30 seconds to charge. And of course, when he lets this caterpillar-like thing out, because the Orions and the Andorians want to know what he's got as cargo, what's so precious. When he lets it out, it ends up eating them all. So that bit's quite funny. But yeah, it's like I said, there wasn't a massive amount to it. A lot of it, like I say, it's the first episode. It's setting up the series, and I'll be honest, I actually quite enjoyed it. I was very surprised. Like I say, you know, if anyone's watched my other videos, you'll know I wasn't a massive fan. And also, like, you know, bringing another series into there, obviously we had Picard as well. And I wasn't a fan of that. I thought that was terrible. I thought that did a lot of damage. So it was nice to actually watch an episode of Discovery and actually think, this isn't too bad, actually. Like, I'm quite happy with this. There were little things they changed, like obviously we know Discovery upset a lot of people when they changed the look of the Klingons. In fact, I was one that was definitely not happy about that. In this series, when you see the Andorians, they do look a little bit different. They've got these like funny sort of pointy bits that come out here above their eyebrows, which of course they never had before. They were just blue with the antennas. They've still got the antennas and the whitish hair, but they've got these like weird sort of bits that come out. But you can kind of get away with that, because not all of them have it, for starters, and also we have jumped into the future, so you could think it's something that they've sort of has evolved through time. So they kind of can get away with that, and it's also not a massive cosmetic change that it really bothered me. I thought, you know, that's interesting. It does make them look different, but not enough to think they're not Andorians. You can clearly tell that they are Andorians. So, yeah, I was quite pleasantly surprised. I didn't think it was a bad episode, actually. There was a bit of clunky sort of dialogue. There was some bits that I wasn't too happy about. There was a bit where when Michael first talks to Booker, she's saying to you about "you're all I've got" sort of thing, and I was sort of sitting there thinking, oh, it's a bit cheesy. Yeah. Not a fan of that part. So there still is an issue with some of the dialogue here and there, but let's be honest, I mean, Star Trek's kind of always had that, haven't they? Even the really good Star Trek at times has suffered with like some cheesy dialogue, so it's kind of part of Star Trek, if you like. So it didn't bother me too much. But yeah, it was interesting, because when you look at it, the episodes really revolving around two people. And that's the first time we've really had that with Discovery, because up until now it's been all round the entire crew, and even new people coming in and going out. So, you know, so yeah, it's interesting. It'd be interesting to see where it goes from here, but it's a good concept. Like I thought it was quite good that they've jumped into the future, and of course she doesn't let on at first that she has done that either. They kind of figure it out, and you know the Federation's not around, and I thought, oh, that's not a bad actual way to go, because we haven't seen anything like this before. So they are treading new ground, and of course they're not damaging anything else, because they've jumped so far into the future. It's gone way past all the other series that were out. So yeah, I did say after the second series that I thought it was a good idea what they'd done, where they've moved it away from anything that come before, so they can't do any more damage. So I was happy with that before. So yeah, I'm not surprised that, you know, this episode was more enjoyable. So yeah, so like I say, not a massively long video because there's not a lot to cover. But if you have, or if you do watch Star Trek Discovery and you're watching this video, then you'll know what I'm talking about. If for some reason you're watching this video and you haven't watched it, and maybe you was a bit disheartened with the last series or the one before that, have a look at this. You might be surprised. Like I say, I mean, I was really only watching it to cover it for the channel. I wasn't really looking forward to watching it. So like I say, I wasn't really that happy with the last series. So I was pleasantly surprised. So, which is nice. Doesn't happen that often. I don't know if it's anything to do with the fact that maybe where we had COVID and all that, that maybe, or should I say we are having COVID. I don't know if it's anything to do with that, that maybe they had more time to actually sit down and write something good, or whether it was just the fact that, you know, where they've gone into the future, you know, it made things easier. I don't know, but it's worked out so far. I mean, it is only the first episode. We will have to see how it carries on. But yeah, like I say, I was pleasantly surprised. I thought I was going to do this video bashing it, and to be honest with you, it's nice to actually watch it and enjoy it and not do a video bashing it. So hopefully they carry on the trend that they're going with. I mean, don't get me wrong, like it's not perfect. There are little things that bug you. Like I say, some of the dialogue was a bit sort of, yeah, you know, but nothing can be perfect, can it? Like, there's always an issue somewhere. So anyway, I'm going to leave that one there. Hope you enjoyed the video. By all means, guys, like, comment below if you watched it and let me know what your thoughts were. Because you might feel different. You might have not liked it, or there might have been things that you liked that I didn't, or something like that. So please comment below. Just try and keep it respectful, though. You know, we are all in this together. Like, you know, we can have disagreements without being nasty or abusive. So if you have got anything you want to add, you know, that you might not agree or whatever, feel free to comment. Just keep it respectful. I will talk to anyone providing you do that. So anyway, like I always say at the end of my videos, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. That little icon will let you know when we put up new videos and live streams. If you don't click that, it might not always tell you. So when you click that, it will send you a notification every time we upload a video. So it does make things easier for you. So yeah, until next time, take care, stay safe. Nerdy Geezer out.